Anthropic have launched ClaudeCode, which is a new coding tool. It's a terminal application that helps you code with the help of AI. And this coincides with the launch of their Claude 3.7 Sonnet model, what they describe as the first hybrid model on the market, meaning it can give you an immediate answer, or you can elect for it to go and have a think about the answer. Now, before we continue, let's have a quick look at the shiny new tool from their promo video.
ClaudeCode is an agentic coding tool that lets you work with Claude directly in your terminal. We're going to show you an example of it in action.
So we have a project here. It's a Next.js app. Let's open it up in an instance of ClaudeCode. Now that we've done this, ClaudeCode has access to all of the files in this repository. We don't know much about this codebase. It looks like an app for chatting with a customer support agent. Let's get Claude to help explain this codebase to us. Claude starts by reading the higher level files, and then it dives in deeper. Now it's going through all the components in the project. Cool. Here's its final analysis.
So say I was asked to replace this left sidebar with a chat history, and I'm also going to add a new chat button. I'm going to ask Claude to help me out here. We haven't specified any files or paths, and Claude's already finding the right files to update by itself. Claude can also show its thinking, and we can see how it's decided to tackle this problem. Claude's asking me if I want to accept these changes. I'll say yeah. Now Claude's updating the navbar, adding a button and icons as well. Next, it's updating the logic to ensure the saving state works correctly. After a bit, Claude completes the task. Here's a summary of what it's done. Let's take a look at the app. So we're seeing a new chat button and new chat history section on the left. Let's check if I can start a new chat while keeping the previous one saved. I'll try out the new chat button too. Great, it's all working.
Now, an interesting thing to note with the launch of ClaudeCode and Claude 3.7 Sonnet model is that it pretty much lines up with the launch of a new coding tool from Google called Gemini Code Assist. Now, this tool from Google is free, unlike the usage of ClaudeCode, for which you pay as you use the tool. Code Assist from Google offers 180,000 code completions a month and 240 chat requests a day. Now, given this competition, in this video, I'm more interested in the business of such models and tools. These models, not the tools, but the models are becoming better at a rapid rate, at least by the benchmarks that they report on. But the companies building these models are spending an absolute fortune doing it. And is it actually good business, or is it really a commoditized race to the bottom? Now, looking at the competition, there's two main aspects to this. You have ClaudeCode, which is a product, not a model. And the company behind it is Anthropic, which is generally an API company producing models, and Claude 3.7 being the latest one, them having skipped 3.6. So that being said, let's first look into the models. There are numerous companies producing foundation models. These are the typically expensive to train models, which are then used by other products and directly via chatbots in the case of companies like OpenAI. Companies producing such models include Meta, Google DeepMind, xAI, and others. When it comes to the usage via APIs for these models, this is becoming pretty commoditized since the models are slowly trending towards the same improvements. So then you invariably get the price competition, which squeezes profits, which no company enjoys. The key issue is the lack of ability to differentiate in any meaningful way. Now, add to the mix open source models. You have companies like Meta with Llama and DeepSeek, Mistral, etc. And whilst many companies prefer to pay to use high quality models, these open source models do give an option to tech companies to use these models for free, not completely free, of course, because it costs to host these models. But even still, these models can dampen the competitive edge of the very best model providers. So what about the competition on products, many of which I've reviewed on this channel? If building models is a race to the bottom, profitability-wise, leaving these companies to eventually fight for scraps of margin, what is the answer? Well, one answer is to build products that integrate AI, but that are targeted to specific use cases, such as HR, accounting, or in the case of ClaudeCode, programming. So this is not a bad shout, except the competition here is also fierce. I made a video talking about the competitive landscape of AI coding assistants, Researching for that video, I compiled a spreadsheet where I listed some of the AI coding assistants by market share of the most prominent AI coding assistants. But since then, this was back in 2024, there have been many, many more. Not to mention that pretty much all existing IDE providers will likely be integrating AI into their tools directly. So even this space is not an easy space in which to operate. Another interesting angle for profitability for some of these model providers is discussed in this transcript on the FT site, and that is advertising. I wonder whether embedded ads in the end will be what paves the way to profitability for some of these model providers, especially given that many people now actually search via AI tools. Now, this fierce competition doesn't seem to have put off Anthropic's investors, if the news reports are to be believed that they are raising $3.5 billion at a valuation of $61.5 billion. Now, they supposedly hit $1.2 billion in revenue, but they are still, of course, losing money. So where can you learn more about the actual usage of ClaudeCode, the tool? Well, I highly recommend this video by Theo, where he goes into a lot more detail about the actual usage and his experience of using ClaudeCode. So I'm very keen to know whether you'll be using ClaudeCode and willing to pay for it, of course, or will you use Google Gemini's Code Assist or one of the other many coding assistants? As you saw from my list of coding assistants, there's already lots of them, with more being added all the time. So I'd love to know what your preferred tool is. I'm Saeed, the Codogrammer, and if you don't want to be the last to know about important AI tech and programming news, be sure to hit subscribe. Thank you for watching.